Hi, I'm Lori Riggs, speech pathologist for the National Association for Child Development and co-creator of the NACD Home Speech Therapist speech apps. And I'd like to tell you about speech therapy for Apraxia-Words, which is our app that's a follow-up to speech therapy for apraxia. And if you're not familiar with that original app, you might want to start with that one before you move on to the Words app. The original app is syllable based, whereas this one is based on CVC words. So just as with the initial app, even though apraxia is in the name, it has other applications as well. So the hierarchy of levels within the app is certainly based on the idea of a progression for motor planning for speech, but you could easily use the words in this app if you're just simply working on articulation, if you're working on phonological processes. So since they're CVC words, it's great for addressing initial consonant production or final consonant production. Also, if you have particular oral motor goals that are related to specific consonant sounds, for example, being able to put the lips together for making bilabial sounds, then this provides a very organized way to be able to address that. Also, vowel differentiation. So there are a lot of uses for this app because it's simply a tool. It's providing you with stimulus items, and you can use it for a wide variety of goals, not just working on motor planning for individuals with apraxia. Okay, the words within the app are organized by patterns of articulation. So we are working with bilabial sounds, alveolar sounds, and velar sounds. And so the CVC words are different combinations of those types of consonants. So, for example, three of the three easier word groups would be those that have a consistent type of consonant at the beginning and at the end. So bilabial sound as the initial consonant, a bilabial sound as the final consonant, and then alveolar, alveolar, and velar, velar. But then after that, there's all the different combinations, bilabial, velar, alveolar, velar, and so on. So there's a total of 9 word groups. And so you choose the word group that you're going to work on and then move through the hierarchy of levels. So I will just explain quickly what each level is. When you choose a new word group, I suggest starting with level 1 and then progress through the levels as the individual masters whatever level you're working on. You don't have to always be working on the same word group. You don't have to get through all the levels on one word group in order to move on to another group. I'm going to choose the first word group, which starts with a bilabial sound, ends with a bilabial sound. And for level 1, you will simply see a single presentation. So it will go through each word in that word group and just show you one word at a time. So you'll touch the picture,
Bob.
And if you have the audio turned on, then you will get that auditory input. You will want to probably provide the model of the word yourself, and then have the user repeat the word that they have heard. Now you'll have to provide the feedback, obviously, about the accuracy of their production and what they need to do to change their production to be more accurate. The app is simply providing the stimulus. Okay, so you just swipe the screen and you will progress through all of the words in that level. Now, if you move on to level 2, then again, it will just be one word out of that group, but this time you'll have 3 repetitions of the same word. So a little bit more difficult from a motor planning perspective.
Pop, pop, pop.
And then swipe to move on to the next screen. And again, it will take you through each of the words in that group, 3 repetitions of each one. Moving on to level 3, still one word, but this time you will have 5 repetitions. And you want to make sure that each subsequent production is as clear as that initial word was. So 5 maps in a row, map, 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 and their last map should be just as clear as the first one. The next level is level 4, and this is a sequence of 5 words as well, but this time the first 4 are the same, and then the 5th word changes to another word from that same word group. So the pattern of articulation is the same, but it's a different word than the first one.
Web, 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 beep.
Level 5 is a combination of 2 words from the same group, but this time it alternates every other one.
Bob, mob, bob, mob, bob.
Now, when you're first starting a level like this, really any level other than level 1, you could start out by having them repeat each word individually as you go through the sequence.
Bob,
Bob,
mob,
mob, and so on. But if they can do that easily, then go ahead and play the whole sequence for them, and then let them go through and do the whole sequence. They don't have to memorize it. They're going to have the visual input right there in front of them. So you can kind of do each level at 2 different levels as well. Okay, moving on to level 6. This will be a random pattern within the sequence of 5, but it's still using 2 words from the same word group, but it's not always just alternating every other one now. It's a random pattern, so the pattern from one screen to the next will change. For level 7, this will combine 2 word groups. You don't have to choose the second group. The app will choose that for you, but it will be a group that starts with the same type of consonant that you're already working on. So in other words, if you are working on the group that starts with a bilabial, ends with a bilabial, now the group that you're combining those words with is another one of the groups that has a bilabial initial consonant. So either the BV group or the BA group. And it's going to be a random pattern. When you get to level 8, this one also combines 2 word groups, but this time you will choose the second group. So it can be any 2 groups that you've been working on. So the screen will prompt you to choose the second group. Now, if you've only been working on 1 word group, then you won't go on to level 8 yet. You'll, at this point, start working on a second word group, and then when you get up to level 8 that second time, then you can go back and choose that initial group so that you're working on 2 groups where you've already gone through the lower levels. Okay, if you have questions about your use of this app or your use of it with a specific client or user, you are welcome to get in touch with me, and my contact information is there on the screen. You can find us on the web at nacd.org, and also we are on Facebook. Thank you.